Oh, we're back. We're back. Did you miss me? We're back. And I don't know what it is about the fact that I just pressed record, but I just got really nervous. Then on top of that, this is not my first take, which I kind of am disappointed in myself because, like, by the end of Worship Wednesday in 2023, I had gotten down to a science, like, to know what I needed to say and, like, ask God for guidance and, you know, was prayerful going into it. So I was like, dag, I messed up, but you missed this whole thing where the Department of Parks and Recs came and pulled up behind me, and they had a little cart that's supposed to be salting, and there was a whole debacle, and then they pulled off. So I was distracted within reason. Needless to say, I don't watch the news, so I'm not dancing today because it's covered in snow. But I am sitting in front of the park because I needed to be at the park today. I had already made up my mind that this is what I was going to do this morning. So for context, I watched 2023 December's Worship Wednesday video, which was the last Worship Wednesday video, where I also reflected on where I danced and what song I danced to in December of 2022 Worship Wednesday's video. So I think even though I was like, today is today. And because today is today, I promised myself, not you, because I don't think it has like weight for you for real, but I promised myself I won't stay here long. But it's important because I want to say in 2022 I said, like, this is gonna be the last year that this day bothers me. This is gonna be the last year that this day gets me down. This is gonna be the last year that I'm gonna spend this year like this. And then some other things happened in 2024 that made it in December a little bit more, I'm just gonna say, different. And then again, this year, different. So I needed to do this today. I felt like it'd be spiritually sentimental. I felt like it would be healing and necessary, quite honestly, to start Worship Wednesday today. So of course it won't be posted till 2025 starts, but like, I had to shoot content somehow, someday. I had to get us prepared. I say all this to say welcome back. How y'all been? How was your 2024? I feel like there was a lot happening for a lot of people last year. And I just want to be mindful of that too. So this is a safe space if you want to talk about how your 2024 was. If you want to chat, you know where to find me. Let's chat. But most importantly, the same God that I closed out 2023 Worship Wednesday with, the same God that carried me through 2024, is the same God that will guide us through this Worship Wednesday journey in 2025, which is actually a cute segue to this song. So like I said, it snowed. I didn't know it snowed, so I'm in the car, and like, I got a little cranky about that, but also in like true poetic irony, I guess. Isn't this how this started before, when I started talking about being in different locations and going to different places? So I was like, that's cute. So I didn't even plan that. That's cute. So that settled in my spirit nice, and so I got out of my feelings fast about that. So when I first was thinking about whether I was bringing back Worship Wednesday, and feeling like I needed to, and was praying on it, and felt like that's where I was being led, I feel like almost right after I was like, nope, this is what I need to do, this is what I feel like God is telling me to do, I heard this song. I'm gonna be honest here because it's a safe space, and I gain nothing from not being honest. So there's a part in the song where he's ad-libbing, and he's like, this is not his words, these are my words. Like, you beefing with God because you mad about where he has you, you know? That's not what he says. That's my interpretation. But like, I did feel like that. I did feel maybe not mad or angry, but I definitely did feel like a level of almost like indifference, of this version of like numbness, that I literally was like, I'm handling so much. And at this point I had gotten back to, oh God, that's a crazy revelation. I had gotten back to where I was like, I am handling what's in front of me, and one that's through, what's in front of that, and what's that's through, and what's in front of that, and like all these things falling down on the wayside. Like, I'm not checking in with people and, you know, hitting up people to just say, hey, how you doing, you were on my heart, the way I typically would. Or like, you know, like there's details about things that I would typically have picked up or would have like figured out, and I just wasn't being as like detail oriented as I usually was. And I just was like, there's entirely too much juggling in my brain right now for me to try and figure that out. I had even got to a point where there were so many things happening, and my friend and I were joking, and I legit was like, yeah, no. God knew that was my you can touch everything but that, like in Job, in case you didn't get the reference. Like God said to the devil, like, you can touch anything, but like you can't kill him, like you can't take his life, like that's your limit, but you can do whatever. And I really felt like God was like, yeah, have at her, because like in a later video I'll talk about like affectionately being in an even if season. Maybe I'll do that next. And so I felt like I was like, all right, this even if is getting even if in. And like, I hear you, Lord. I will still declare and I will still praise your name and I won't turn my back on you. But like, this a lot. And so I felt like there was a thing that was like, I think I was like, I'm pretty sure God drew the line right there, because I don't know if I could have handled that. And so 2024 was a lot. And I feel like when I closed this chapter in 2023, and I was like, I feel like God was making space for something or making room for something. I think he did. I think 2024 had a lot of ups and downs and had a lot of things that I needed the time and the space for. But it was absolutely not what I thought it was going to be, or in the way that I thought it was going to be. And I do think I could have very well been more proactive about making space. Like, I went to the park, I spent time in the park, I listened to music in the park, I prayed in the park, I cried in the park. Like, there were some times that I still went and visited the park that we now affectionately know and love for Worship Wednesday, but like, never, I don't feel in the same capacity, and I feel like I could have been more proactive about that. But a lot of busyness took up that year. And so I'm gonna be intentional about creating the space for this. One of the things that God and I have been dealing with and talking about in prayer is more capacity, right? And I'm not talking in terms of like wanting more stuff or materialism or money, but like capacity, because like, if I'm gonna make the time to be there for people, to sacrifice for people, to serve, to be a helping hand for others, I want to make sure I have more capacity to, well, first of all, the discerning spirit to know what's mine to fight and what's not mine to fight. But also more capacity and discipline to be more diligent with how I'm managing my time and the capacity that I do have, so that as hard as I'm going for the things in other people's life, that I'm also not sidetracking or displacing my own. So that's gonna be my underlying theme for 2025. Stay along for the ride and see how that goes. But the name of the song is Lead Me On, because, hey Dad, it's me. And things are getting kind of crazy down here. And so if this is the life you want me to keep living, then it gotta be in you. It gotta be led by you. It has to be in your will, in your alignment with obedience and discipline. Because I can't. I literally cannot. I was actually just talking to some girl on TikTok about how unfortunately, like, our hearts were grieving and feeling the unfortunate overarching theme. Like, not everybody, I'm not gonna make like this big blanket statement, but like a popular thought process was that people want the love of God without the reverence of God, or people want the favor of God without the relationship with God. And how like our hearts were grieving for like people that are ignorant, not stupid, but like are ignorant to the fact that those things are mutually, like, you need them both. And how you can't fully understand or embrace one without the other. And how there will be people who genuinely believe that they are in the will of God or in good standing with God, and will be completely disheartened to find out that they have missed it because of one thing or the other. So like this concept of not understanding that there is a full picture of God that we cannot cherry pick or be selective on or be choosy with, because God is who he is. And how we wouldn't want people that we're in relationship to be like, well, I like the funny part of you, but like when you struggle with mental health, I don't want that part. Or I like the part of you that will like pay for lunch sometimes, but like when you want like it to be reciprocated, I don't like that part. Or I really like that part of you when, you know, I can call you, but like sometimes you call me when I'm in the middle of something and I just don't have time for that. Like, that's not how we would operate. And I mean, like, his ways are higher than our ways, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. God is infinitely better than we are in a general sense, but like, because he's so vast, because he's so great, we can't really compute and understand everything that he is. So like, you know, analogical language or like parables or stories to help us understand. So like the same way we wouldn't want people to be selective with who we are, we want people to embrace us for the people that we are, the person that we are. God is who he is, period. And his word is what it is, period. And so I don't want God in the park and then the rest of the days that I'm outside of the park are a mess. Or I don't want him on Sunday mornings and then I'm out living however for the other 6 days. Like, I want God fully. So as I am starting this year off, and like, as you can see, even before the start of the new year, so this is not, I'm not shooting this on January 1st. So, you know, even the conversations, the prayers, and the, you know, mentalities I'm trying to shift now, even before the year starts, is like, I don't know what's to come. Because if you had have told me that this is how 2024 was gonna go, I wouldn't have believed you. So I equally don't know how this year is gonna go, but one thing I do know for sure is that I will be led on. I will be guided forward. And even in some of the verses, it talks about like even the acknowledgement that like the only reason I got this far is because his hand was on my life. The only reason I got this far is because I understood that it was because of him. Like, even the humbling of myself to acknowledge that this ain't on me either. Like, some of the mistakes or the shortcomings or the sin and just overall arching humanity, like, that's me. But like, the reason why I was able to course correct, or the reason why I was able to detour, the reason why I was able to be preserved as I'm navigating life and I can't always give everything my best, is because I've been led. And prayerfully, and intentionally, because I'm not just gonna pray and then just have at it, but like prayerfully and intentionally will continue to be led. And so if I have to sit here and conceptualize like the goals I want for 2025 and vision boards and prayers and dreams and desires, and we're gonna talk about that sometime soon too, most importantly, at the top of every goal list, on the top of every desire, every dream, every want for this upcoming year, I want it to be in Him. I want it to be in alignment. I want it to be with His blessing, with His go ahead, with His encouragement, with His confirmation. And so that's how we're kicking it off. My prayer is that we as people who watch Worship Wednesday videos, we as the body of believers, we as His children would be open and humbled enough to be led. Because being led also comes with the strength and the endurance and the wherewithal that when things don't look like what we thought they would or what they should look like, that we have the strength to continue to press on and continue to move forward even when life doesn't look like the cards that we wanted to be dealt, and we are looking at the hand and trying to figure out how we got these cards. So my prayer for us is that we embrace God, that we accept God, and not a selective version, but who He is in fullness, who He is in totality, who He is in all. Because He's pretty great. You don't gotta pick what best parts of Him you want, because He's pretty great. And I just want us to be mindful of that as we go into this new year and beyond. So lead me on each front of my life, lead me on from here forward each year of my life, lead me on. So this is my dedication and declaration that I am most importantly giving this year to God, because I don't want it. I'll act it out for Him. I'll live it out for Him. I'll execute what He gives me. But the responsibility of planning and figuring things out and trying to see what's what, I don't want it this year. I don't want it this year. He can have it. And quite honestly, that's the posture that I should have been in the first place. I don't think I would typically classify myself as stubborn, but maybe I am. I don't want it. Welcome back. Did you miss me? Having really random runoffs about what's going on in my life? If you have, then I have news for you. Worship Wednesday is back, and I thank you for being willing to try this all over again with me this year. And prayerfully, hopefully, I will see you again next week. Thanks. Oops. Okay. I can crop it, stupid. Stupid. First and foremost, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you so much for tuning back in for this journey, for agreeing to come along for this ride, and trusting me with your Wednesdays again. I promise you, even if I disappoint, our God will not. I am just thankful to be back in this space. Thankful to be back out here again in this capacity. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little nervous, unloading my tripod. I bought a new speaker, and just getting this going again, stumbling through intro videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, you've been here before, you've done this before, why is this new? And honestly, I think it's just because I'm anticipating and believing God for this season, for everybody that will listen, everybody that will watch. I'm entrusting this whole process to him, as well as my year. So I just want to say thank you again for tuning in. Thank you again for being along for this ride. Thank you for the people that pushed me to get back out here. And I just want to leave y'all with the encouragement of not just this day, not just this moment, not just this month, but that we would continue to have this song be the underlying tone, be the underlying mantra as God continues to 2025 and beyond, that he would lead us, that we would be led by him, that he would guide us, that he would convict us, that he would move us how he sees fit. And I'm just trusting and believing God for so much, because he's been so good already, because he continues to be faithful, and that he continues to even encourage us and inspire us in our trials and tribulations and our obstacles. And I'm encouraged. 2024 was a little rough, but I am encouraged and ready for what he's going to do. So thank you guys. I pray that something that I said or some movement that you saw inspires you, encourages you, or even gives you something to talk about with God today, and that you would continue to come back and see what God is doing in and through my life, but told through a profession of dance. We're back. This is 2025 Worship Wednesday.
Living, breathing proof that things can change, that the saving gift of grace, it really stays. With all the twists and turns on my mistakes, how I made it over, you were the only way. I'm not perfect, don't always get it right, but I'd rather walk by faith and not by my foolish sight. So lead me on, lead me on, lead me on, please lead me on. I may not have it all quite figured out, no, but I don't think it matters. I think you like it that way. Jesus, you're the potter and I'm the clay. You're making me like you more and more every day. Oh, not perfect, don't always get it right. I'd rather walk by faith, not by my foolish sight. So lead me on, hey, lead me on, come on, lead me on, please lead me on. It's not me I'm leading on, lead me on, yeah. Oh Jesus, keep leading me. I'll put one foot in front of the other. I won't ever look back. No, no, no. What you have for me is better. Yeah, I'll let go of my past. I know that the future is nothing to fear. I know that you're holding it all in your hand. What you have for me is better, better. And you will lead me. You will lead. You will lead. Oh Jesus, this is my prayer. Oh Jesus, oh Jesus, you can. Come on, 'cause I'm no good on my own. And I don't know where else to go. feel a party in the room. A gift of grace. It really stays. All the twists and turns on my